Hello and welcome and Merry Christmas to you all. This has been uploaded on Christmas Eve of 2022, so if you are watching this back in the future and it just happens to be Easter, well, hopefully you're enjoying your Easter and you're enjoying the chocolate, but main thing is everybody's had a good Christmas for 2022. Now, we are at Dollywood, as you've just seen by the first couple of seconds of that video. It is a night tour, lots and lots of lights and lots of things to have a look at and see. Now, this is my first ever time coming to Dollywood for filming this video. All the other videos that have been uploaded prior to this was actually filmed the second day, so I just came up here to get my bearings. So this is a full loop to my knowledge of me actually doing this filming. I had no map, I'd never been here before, but there was a lot to see and a lot to soak in. So as we go around, I do actually have a map beside me right now. We are walking down Show Street. Now we do finish at Show Street as well, and everything we are looking at now with all these amazing lights above everybody's heads looked insane lit up later on. So you've got about 40 minutes of incredible light, and it gets dark very, very quickly. So as we go down Show Street, there are 21 different attractions to soak in and have a look at. I will run through over all the different bits and pieces there is to do within this section of the park, but it is number 1 to 21 on the map. But already, because I am an amazing tour guide, I thought, well, I'll go right because it looked a little bit quieter, and now we've jumped to number 120 to 124 on the map. So it is a full tour, but it's not going to be in order. So if you are a local, bear with me. Right, so going down this new section of the park, it's called Adventures in Imagination. Now we have got Chasing Rainbows, which is actually closed for the season. You've got Dolly's Home on Wheels, Dream Song Theatre, Time Saver Centre, and the shopping, it's Dolly's Closet. So the Dollywood obviously is Dolly Parton's theme park, and all of this section is actually all mainly to do with her and her tour bus and everything like that. Now that bit to the right hand side was not open, but I have seen photos online and that did look pretty cool of the bits and pieces that you could do on the inside, but I think they might have changed that to the theatre. I could be getting that completely wrong, and that is actually just DreamWorks Theatre anyway. But we have got a lot of different bits and pieces to come. This is a teeny tiny section within the map. There it goes. There's only 4 different things to do within this section, and it's like a good cut through because you can get to this section of the park on 2 different bits. But this is Dolly Parton's motorhome that is in Dollywood. So you can see it costs $750,000. If you need to pause it, do so. It's self-contained 7,000 watt AC generator. Bus driver, good old Don, he was their bus driver for 15 years, and he did a whole 7 miles to the gallon. But it is a big old coach, this. So this took her all over the place. So if you are a local or a Dolly Parton fan, this will be a perfect section for you to go into. Now that's Dolly's Closet, huge sort of clothing shopping centre as such, just to be able to get lots of different bits and pieces in. Obviously it's all Dollywood merchandise and it's all to do with Dolly Parton as well, but this is like a real nice little section of the park. Busy at certain times. I found this on the following day that it was busy, especially when the shows and everything were on, but some of the time it was really quiet. So I managed to get on absolutely everything I wanted to get on, and it was just a walk on for me on every single coaster during the day and at night. So there was super simple for me because I was speaking to one of the locals and they said about 80% of the people at the park, because the age demographic, were actually there for the shows. They weren't there to go on the roller coasters and the rides, and I just wanted to get on the rides, film it and just share the experience with you. So it was perfect. I thought, yeah, absolutely fine. If I was to come back, I would try and come back again at this time. Now, we've already moved on to the next section of the park, and I need to find where we are on the map because obviously I am the worst tour guide in the world, but I do believe we're walking through Jukebox Junction. Now, Jukebox Junction, I think, because we're now walking backwards, it goes from 114 to 119, but 119 on the map is Red's Drive-In, which is the bit there just to the left hand side. But you have Lightning Rod, which is my first ride that I went on, and we will have a quick look at the queue line, and just how fast this thing is ridiculous. The thing is enormous. It took me by surprise actually how fast this was, and it kind of set the tone for the rest of the roller coasters that were there. But it was a very good fun experience. But you've got Lightning Rod, you've got another theatre called Pine Theatres, you've got Rocking Roadway, so there's your 3 different attractions. You've got another shopping bit, so you've got High Octane Ride Souvenirs, dining, you've got Jukebox Junction Dipper Dots, and the Reds driving. So as we walk around now, we'll have a look at all the different cars, as this is all part of the queue line to get onto the roller coaster. I will go quiet at one point just so you can actually see the ride shooting round, and it's actually coming at the end, but the ride was that quick all the way. I have not sped up the video when you have a look and see what is about to happen. But yes, it is a very, very busy thing, very popular. But again, I just walked straight on, so it was simple. I only managed to get on this once, and it was actually the first ride that I did, which was this. It was the only time I did it, because the following day when I walked past this section of the park, it was actually down with a couple of sort of issues that they were trying to sort of resolve and fix. But it wasn't down for that long, so I heard it going again when I was walking around the other side of the park. But it's a bit of a shame that I only managed to do it once, but I did make up for it for going on lots of other things multiple times. Lots to soak in with regards to the queue line. So if you are into your cars, then well, it's a perfect one for you. It This was actually probably the longest I waited. I probably waited all of 5 minutes. But look at that lift, and it just goes down basically vertically the other side of the hill, and then just kicks you around and shoots you about. But I think I've got the volume turned up for the next section for you to have a look at and listen, because it is rather quick with regards to what is coming. But what they do is, this is where you queue, and then you go up another set of massive stairs. You have a small queue again where they just spit you onto the ride. But if you pay attention, there will be a ride, should be shooting around in a second, of it just torpedoing past the window, up and round. There it is. Look how fast that thing's going, up, round, down. It is rapid. It is really, really quick, and then it slows down. But how quick you saw it then is actually probably at its slowest, because it is coming to the end of the ride. And then now we're back out. So we're back out to the front. We've got all the different cars out the front, and then we will pan round and keep looping through. So I do believe, if I'm trying to have a look at the map as we go around, we are, where are we? Jukebox. I think we then cut into the back end of Rivertown Junction, which is where we are now. So I have cut bits and pieces out just for the walk, because certain sections it was very, very busy. So I have cut it quite a bit of this up. So it's a little bit choppy, but we are still looping around. But this is one of the log flumes that has been drained for obviously this season, because it is very, very cold and very, very fresh. I will run you through all the different bits and pieces from Rivertown Junction, because it goes from 101 to 113, but I didn't realise that I was just using this as a cut through to turn right into the village. Now the village goes from 76 to 82, lots of different bits and pieces to do. You can see it's getting darker very, very quickly, and if you've already caught the day tour of the village, you know that this is where the Dollywood Express kicks off from, and you know that this is the busiest part of the park. But you will see a 2-hour queue line now to get on the train. Just keep your eyes peeled to where the blocks of people are to the left hand side. It gets very, very busy, and you just wonder why, and it's because the queue basically starts from here. So as I walk down, just think how long it's now going to take me to walk past all the other shops and all the other little bits and pieces. As we have a quick look at the Dollywood Express, I'll run you through the other things that are here. So there is a Heart Song Theatres down here. You've got a carousel. You've got another stage for some shows. You've got one shopping complex which had loads of different bits and pieces in. And obviously it was themed to the actual Dollywood Express, so you could get some sort of merchandise that matched with hats and things and t-shirts. You have got the Pal Paws Roadside Market and the Iron Horse Pizza. So that is all the different bits and pieces that are located within this section of the park. And then we will loop it round and go to another very busy section of the park for the day, but not so busy in the evening here because of the age demographic, because the bit that we're going to go into is actually meant for slightly younger ones, and the younger ones had already gone home. But if you caught that video of the little day tour, which is all available in the Dollywood playlist, you will see what I mean, just with the difference of age demographic and how busy the bits are. But you can see, if you spotted it already, that queue line is rock solid to the left hand side. It goes all the way back. It is mad how many people were queuing there, and the rest of the park was quite thin compared to where we're stood now. But again, you can just see how amazing these lights are, and it just keeps on going down. And as it gets darker and darker, you'll just see the lights better and better, I guess. So you've got lots to look forward to. I said after about the 10-minute mark, they'll start to come through on the screen. We've nearly hit 10 minutes now, so we're not too far there. And as like I said, as it stands, the video is just under an hour long, depending if I take anything else out. But yeah, so you've got plenty plenty of different bits and pieces to look forward to and see. But when we come out of the sections, we do a nice good loop of this. We will then move on to the next bit of the park. So I'm already trying to figure out where that is on the map. I do believe, will be at the Peppermint Valley, which is actually called something else as we start walking down. It's all the fairground ride. So you have where your Destruction Derby is and everything else. But that's actually attraction 83 to 100 on the map, so I will try and spit them out as quick as I can as we walk into that bit, but I thought I'd just give you a heads up that we will be cutting to that bit very, very shortly. Now we've done a good loop around, we're now going around the back, we just walk in a straight line and it will cut to the next bit, which is now, and we're about to go into the next section, so I've just cut a little bit off just because it got so busy down the one bit of the park. So as we pan round, it will let us know what the name is of the area that we're about to walk on, because I don't actually think it says the Peppermint on or in the park. I think it says fairground something, but you can see why we're in the fairground section, and you have to play spot the canes of who has won those massive candy canes, and they're all walking around the park for the rest of the evening. So it's all well and good you winning them, but I would not want to be carrying them around for the rest of the evening. But there is a lot of those to try and hunt down. I think I saw maybe 4 or 5 winners throughout the evening. So we are in, I'm calling it Peppermint Valley because that's what it is on the map, but you can see the big sign there that's for the fairground. But 83 to 100 attractions go from 83 to 96. So you've got the Busy Bees, the Blue Ribbon Picnic Pavilion, the Celebration Hall Picnic Pavilion, Demolition Derby, Dizzy Discs, Games, Lemon Twists, Lucky Ducky, Piggy Parade, Shooting Star, Sky Rider, The Amazing Flying Elephant, Scrambler, and the Waltzing Swinger. So all of those you've got to try and spot and have a look at as we're walking around, because like I said, we're looking at all of the different lights and just soaking in all of the Christmas theming, and each zone that I did during the day, we actually try and get on as many rides as possible. I do film all the queue lines, whereas the queue lines I actually filmed at night, I didn't get a chance to film during the day. So it worked out to be very, very lucky, because like I said, that one attraction I didn't reopen when I was there during the daytime, but you will have better look at all of the rides and them running during the day. Have a look at those plays if you want to check them out at a later date. So we will carry on with all the other bits and pieces with regards to the dining. You've got the blue ribbon cones, the country fair dipping dots, the grandstand calf, and the midway market. All of that is here somewhere, so you're going to have to spot them as we go. I am pointing out where the Destruction Derby was because I was interested to see what that looked like, because I wasn't too sure with it being a country fair if it was the old school style where they were attached to the roof or if they were sort of more magnetic on the floor. I did manage to see some people shooting around on it and it looked very, very impressive. And again, you can see it's getting darker much, much quicker. The lights are really starting to poke through. It will get a little bit dark in places with the video because obviously it's pitch black at night and it's not perfect lighting, but I think the camera coped well enough as we went round. It was the freshest night in a while that I had experienced. I was stupid enough only to have a hoodie and shorts on, but a lot of other people I think might have made the same schoolboy error because it just suddenly dropped off very, very quickly. But this is the ride, so you can see that is not a one above the top like it would have done back when with the sparks that flash, but the cars still look pretty cool. So there were some good things to have a look at. Now you might notice from time to time that I do keep wiping the lens on the camera. It's just because where it was getting so cold, it was giving off a little bit of like a flare and a flick sometimes, so that was just me trying to clean it off. It wasn't raining, which was perfect, but it was getting quite fresh. Now I reckon about 5 maybe 10 minutes might have passed from me changing the batteries over and just having a quick look at those cars, and now it's basically pitch black, isn't it? It's just going to get darker and darker. So 14 minutes exactly in and all the lights are shining through perfect, but we are still walking through Peppermint Valley. There is a huge amount to do. Now, I did say this in the daytime video. This is definitely the pocket to come if you are obviously a family with multiple children of a younger age, because they have the perfect rides all around here. So it's a busy section of the park because there is actually so many different things to do, not just because the rides aren't open and everybody's queuing for the one ride. You've got smaller versions of the drop towers. It's a good mix of a lot of different rides that they have over in the UK for the age demographic, but I found out that the following day when I came in and was walking around, I was amazed by how quiet the park was when I was walking around. But then when I got to this bit, It was absolutely heaving during the day. You can see there's not that many people here in the evening because, again, the rides are meant for slightly younger ones and it is getting on a little bit later at night. So it did make a big difference where you went at what time of the park. But for me, it was a perfect time, perfect opportunity to get on absolutely everything. No, I did not try and play any of the pay-to-play games, and because there's no way I can get one of those massive teddy bears back on the plane. So just skipped out the bit that we've already seen and walked through. Now we're going to head back up through the village because you actually have to do that as a full horseshoe shape. So this is the bit that we've already seen, but again, now it's already darker, so we'll have another quick look at that. You can see the carousel working on in the background, and then we will kick up and go through. Now this will give me a good opportunity to try and catch my breath a little bit and run through what was in the Rivertown Junction, because there's multiple different ways that you can go in Rivertown Junction. There's a couple of different paths that you can take. We did cover it during the actual day video because I knew it was there, but I think I might have just done a wrap round without even realising that I had done it in the evening, because like I said, no map, no idea where I was. So Rivertown Junction, not to miss it out, that went from 101 to 113. You had the Back Porch Theatre, Dolly's Tennessee Mountain Home, which was basically a replica of where she actually lived, and it gave you all the details, the size, everything, all the bits and pieces that she had in there. You got the Smoky Mountain River Rampage, so that was the bit that we saw with the water that had all been drained. So I do believe there are two log flume styles, but I'm not too sure with that being a river called a river rampage if it is a drop, because the other one that we will see during the day, because it's too dark to see it at night, that had a very, very big drop on it. And that's the three attractions in the Rivertown Junction. In the shopping, as we walk through all these amazing lights, you can see the amount of people that be taking photos and obviously putting this up on social media. You've got a lot of different bits and pieces, so you can buy some blown glass, you can go into a mountain home, you've got a Christmas cottage, that's your three shopping options, and then for your dining, you've got plenty of them. So you've got Aunt's Granny's Restaurant, the Country Cooker's Kettle Corn, Cotton Candy, Crossroads Funnel Cakes, Dogs in Tatters, Lakeside Lemonade, and Seasonal Cutlery Booths. If I've butchered any of them and you're local, let me know in the comments below. But that is what I'm trying to read off the bit as we go around. Now that looked incredible. The amount of people that were taking photos of that bit lit up there. That's another eatery as we come round. I will try and find where we are, but I think we're coming to the end of the Craftsman's Valley, or we're still walking through and into the end of Rivertown. So it's one or the other, but I know that the queue for that during the day was a big old area. So to the left-hand side, that was the sign for Rivertown Junction. So we are right at the bottom end of Craftsman's Valley, and we've got to walk all the way up to number 43. So on the map, we're at number 71, and we walk all the way up to 43. So there's a lot to look at and a lot to see. This was with the daytime video, I think this was nearly a half-hour video just walking in every single shop and having a look at all the different candles that are on offer and all the shopping bits. Again, didn't realise most of that was there walking through at night. Like, you would not notice during the night time that all the eagle and the bird sanctuaries and everything were here, just because you're too mesmerised by trying to soak in all of the lights. And this is where all the teardrop type of lights are as well. So there's a huge amount to see and do, but I'll run you through everything that is in Craftsman's Valley as we go. I do it top to bottom, so I do it in the correct order. So the attractions, you've got lots of them. They go from 43 to 51 on the map. You've got the Blazing Fury, which is very, very quick. You've got the Fall Schoolhouse, Daredevil Falls, which was closed for the season. That is the other massive log flume that they've got there. The Eagle Mountain Sanctuary, which I had no idea was here, but we had a good look at during the day. Number 47 just says Games. Now, there is a chapel, which we'll have a look at in a minute or two, and we'll actually have a good look in and around. And you will notice on the outside that they were actually doing sing-song shows, but on the inside on the Sunday they do actually do a proper service as well, and they do have the times on the door. So if you are coming on a Sunday and you want to go to church, then you can do at Dollywood. Number 50, you've got the Valley Theatre. So I have been saying that about a lot of different theatres. I did say at the start of the video, so this is one of them. This might actually be the theatre, the Valley Theatre. They were running shows throughout the day and in the evenings. You can see how many chairs and everything are there. Now, some of the shows are nearly 50 minutes long, so you have got a lot to pick and choose from, including ham and beans, country cooking at its best, apparently. So that is what is that one. So we will carry on, and I will get before I get carried away. So Valley Theatre ticked off. Wings of American Theatre, so there's another one there. Shopping, you've got airbrush t-shirts, you've got portraits, the toy chest, festival crafts, hillside general store, Lucky 7 mine and pick-a-pearl, Old Flame Candles, Smoky Creek Leather, Tin Sign Shop, Valley Forge Blacksmith, Valley Wood Carvers. And for the dining, you have the Food Truck Park. It says in brackets, operating days vary. And you've got to see the app for details on that. You've got the Granny Ogle's Ham and Beans, the Grist Mill and Cinnamon Bread. That is the bit that we saw right at the start. So that was number 66 on the map. Sorry, number 65. Number 66 is a barbecue. Number 67 is Mr. Jerry's Sit and Sip Refreshments. Then you've got Miss Lillian's Barbecue Corner. And then again, you've got Miss Lillian's Smokehouse, Pork Rinds. And last one is the Tennessee Tornado Dipping Dots. And breathe. Now, there's, like I said, huge amount to do in Craftsman's Valley. Just for me to film it all, like I said, was about half an hour. But you could spend a massive amount of time within this section, which I did walking around now, just looking at all the lights. And then I did it again to see all the bits and pieces during the day that I missed everything. This massive flurry of people directly in front is actually because there is a show going on out the front of the church slash chapel, which we will have once we have a look at this blacksmith, and you can see that they actually do all handcraft bits and pieces, and then they do custom weird and wonderful bits as well. So we'll have a quick look at that. I'll let you read the signs and everything as we go around. We will have a quick look at the show going on, and then we'll walk into the chapel and have a look, and then I do believe we'll carry on making our way up. But we've just broken the 20-minute mark, so hopefully I'm not boring you too much. There is a lot of really nice lights and everything to come and have a look at. And there is, on the very last bit that we actually catch and see, is actually where the main glazer bit is, where there is a huge, it takes you all the way up sort of like a big steep hill, lots of Christmas lights, lots of Christmas trees, and that takes you to the main massive Christmas tree as well. So all of that is actually at the end. If I did it the way I did it on day 2, we would have seen that first, but I actually would have missed all of that with it being lit up so at night. So it was more better luck than judgment, shall we say, with regards to just doing it this way, because I just went with the flow of people. And the following day I didn't, and it worked out to be perfect for me both days. So very lucky, very spoiled. Now, moving on, you've got all the decorative scenes out the front. I'm not sure if this is a permanent feature because of where obviously we're located in the park, or if they've just added this in for Christmas. But this is the really nice chapel, so you can go in and have a good look around. The chairs on the outside, obviously for the shows that they're doing throughout the day and in the evening, because I think they did multiple. They must have done nearly double digits probably for the shows. So there's loads of them. And then as we come through, we'll have a look at the chapel. But all of the show times are available in the park map that I have beside me, but it is on a different page. I'm just too lazy to turn and flip and read through. But you've got all the details on there, and you've got a QR code if you need to have a QR code for the map, and then you can find out all the opening times on that as well. But you can also find out all the show times online. So if you are thinking of going between Christmas and New Year, then obviously, hopefully this might help you a little bit. And if you were thinking of, well, you wanted to go back and have a look at the Christmas lights in your local, I highly recommend going, because it is beautiful. Just looking around, even if it's just really busy and you can't get any of the rides, but you just want to do a really nice loop. And I guess if you're a park pass holder, like it works in the UK, this will be included in your park pass, so it won't cost you anything. It's just worth going and just having a look down. Obviously, if you can justify the parking prices and everything else, then if you're local, I highly recommend doing it. And if you're not local, but you're thinking of just having a travel, it's definitely one of the most family type based theme parks I've ever been to, with regards to you could take grandparents and babies and they could all spend the day doing something. Where if you are sort of in the age demographic of where you really like roller coasters, you can fill the day up doing that. If you just want to sit down for most of the day because your legs hurt, but you want to soak in all the theatres and the shows, perfect for you. And there are huge amount of things to do for the teeny tiny ones dotted around the whole park. I saw more of it during the day than I did at night, obviously, because I just sort of didn't even know that you could turn left here and go down to Owen's Farm. I didn't even know Owen's Farms existed until I picked up the map, so I went to leave. So Owen's Farm did not get missed during the day. That has all been up on show, but there's another 5 or 6 different bits and pieces to have a look at there. There's an eatery, but there's much smaller playgrounds and play areas for the little ones, but there's also a bigger ride there for the larger ones. You can see where you've got the sat down benches and the eateries. But to the behind me, to the right hand side, is where there's a big bird sanctuary, which you just couldn't see. You couldn't tell it was there because I was too busy looking at all the lights. And when we get to the big teardrop, that's where there's even more bits and pieces for the birds. You're too busy looking up and you're not looking left or right to see all the other little bits and pieces that are there. But when we get to the teardrop lights, which is where we started basically the first 10 seconds of the video, everybody is stopping and taking photos and just having a look because it looks so impressive. They have like clumps of massive walk-through light attraction dotted around all the park, and it's just really, really nice to soak in and have a look. So if you have been to the park at any point over the 2022 season or from 2020, has it changed much? Did you enjoy your visit when you came? Let me know in the comments below, because they are making a brand new massive roller coaster by the looks of it in one of the sections of the park when we get there. I think it's Big Bear it's going to be called. But this is the start of the Glacier Ridge, and this is actually a big attraction because it wasn't until the following day I realised that it actually starts here. You go all the way through these lights, but it carries on through different sections of the park. You see a massive Christmas tree in the middle of the park, and there's a big light show. That will be the video that I will link to this, because it's very, very impressive. It's an 8-minute light show, but I've had to take their music away and use copy-free music. But that's a fantastic sort of experience to see that. And then you can carry on walking past all the roller coasters, and then after the drop tower, there's loads and loads of lights again, loads of Christmas trees, and it sort of zigzags back down to the start of the park, where we will then see all the bits that we saw during the, well, I say during the day, just didn't see lit up. We will then finish there. So that is all extra. That is a bit that is on the map. It is a large attraction with regards just to everything that is there. But yeah, it's Glacier Ridge Pathway is what it is. So there's lots to see and lots to do. But the new roller coaster that's been built, I do believe, is being built in the Wildwood Grove section of the park. But we are still making our way up the quite impressive Craftsman Valley, because you've just got all of these bits and pieces. Now, if you came in Halloween, were those pieces swapped out for different decorative pieces for Halloween, or are they always there and they've just been lit up for Christmas because of where we're located and where we're at? Because it's quite hard to tell what's a permanent feature, especially at night, and what is obviously being added in. But this is basically where it starts. So all the other bits and pieces, that's just extra for Christmas, and then these are now thousands of lights. The bird sanctuary is to the right hand side, but I had no idea it's there. Obviously that's where they get let out during the day to fly. They will be tucked away safe and sound in their houses, which you will see again in the day video. So you see all the bald eagles and everything like that. But this is just a lot to soak in and a lot to see, and it does look, I think, very, very impressive. If you have obviously not been here, but you've gone to somewhere else over Christmas and you think, you know, their lights were also fantastic, let everybody know in the comments below where you went, and we can try and use the comment section as just a healthy chit chat with regards to helping each other, because that's what I want this channel to be. Obviously, it's the detached brick, so it is very heavily based on Lego and the Lego theme parks, and then all the parks that are located around it as well. But you've got a lot to come from America and other places to come as well. Right, we are nearly at the halfway mark, so which means, well, in fact, we're over the halfway mark already, so we've nearly hit the half-hour mark. This carries on, goes through. You've got all the different bits and pieces you can see to the left and the right. Everything was open. The only things, like I said, that were closed was actually the log flumes, but they were closed for the season. You did have, it was the Dolly's Closet at the beginning. That was closed for, I do believe that's just closed for a refurb. But I think that might have been like a walk-through museum. I think I've seen some photos of that online where you can walk around, you can just see all of her actual, I say memorabilia, but it was everything that she wore and took part in, and everything else. So it'd be like microphones, dresses, shoes and things. I think that's what it is, and I think that's the pictures that I've seen online. If I can, again, completely butchered that, let us know in the comments below and correct me if I'm completely wrong, but I'm sure that's what that is. But they are going to redo it for the 2023 So I don't know how long that had been there. I've been quite interested to see that, and I could have uploaded that as obviously completely separate videos. It did look like it was a really nice walk round, but it is what it is. That was the only thing that wasn't there. So there's still a lot of pay-to-play games, so you can see all the pay-to-play games underneath. If you walked up and then turned right, that is the main entrance to the huge roller coaster, which is the Blazing Fury, which I did not go on at night, but I did it during the day and just walked straight on. I did it once or twice, actually. Very, very impressive. And like I said, if you wanted to get on any of the coasters, you could have done, but I didn't even know that was there, because you can hear it, you can see the track, but you actually carry on walking to the right there. You keep going right, and then it wraps on itself, and that's where your entrance is. But I was too busy looking at the Christmas tree lights and avoiding all the people and just walking up in a straight line to the next section. Otherwise, I probably would have gone on that ride at night, because it was extremely impressive during the day. So if you have managed to do all the roller coasters at night, again, let us know in the comments below what you think. Do you prefer doing them at night, or do you prefer doing them during the day, or are you not a coaster bunny at all? But yeah, the Christmas tree lights and everything, I think they've done a really, really good job. It was one of those that when I got back to the hotel room, I could not believe what I had just seen. I had no idea what I was going to be walking into, but I was just super happy that I managed to see this lit at night. It had been a long time coming, because I wanted to do this back in 2020. Then obviously COVID hit, and it was what it was for everybody over that massive period of time. But it is all slowly starting to get back to normal, so fingers crossed everybody can have a healthy 2023, and then everybody can start enjoying themselves a little bit better where possible. So we are now out and into the next bit, but because I am the worst tour guide in history, I haven't got the map prepped, and I'm not 100% sure where we are on the map, because I think we are in the pass, I do believe. So Wilderness Pass, but we're doing it backwards. I think that's where we are. I could be wrong though. I'm not really 100% sure, because we're either in Wilderness Pass, looking at that, we've missed Owen's Farm, Craftsman's Valley, keep going, and then we get right to the big roller coaster on the left-hand side, and then we walk up in a straight line. Yeah, so we're in Wilderness Pass. That's where we are. We're sort of in limbo between the two sections. So top to bottom, it's just easier. 32 to 42. We've got the Fire Chaser Express, the Firehouse Fun Yard. We've got Games, which is number 34, which is where that started. Actually, that's where we were. That's called the Games. The Plaza, the Wilderness Pass. Then we got Wild Eagle, which was, I think, my favourite ride of the whole park, I think, because I went on it obviously in the evening, not really knowing what to expect, and I sat right at the back. You come up the chain lift, and the kick on the first corner, it's one of those where you just lose your stomach and you just go flying. It's very similar that if you've been to the Florida parks and you didn't know about the Hulk, and you went on the Hulk the first time and how that takes off. And if you're watching from Dubai, because I've uploaded a load of videos from different theme parks in Dubai, it's very similar to if you had no idea about Madagascar and you just got on it and you just thought it was going to be a nice gentle ride. It's not. It's just one of those where it's something you're never going to forget, and it's just good. It's just good fun for that one. So we'll carry on before I get carried away talking about all the other playlists. So Wild Eagle 36 shopping, you've got the Flight Outfitters, you've got Wax Company Volunteer Supplies, and then for the dining you've got Skyview Snacks, Splinter Funnel Cakes, and the Dog House. That is all somewhere within this that we're walking past now. And then from there, I do believe, because I've got it in front of me, we will then end up by the Christmas tree, which is still part of the glacier bit, which I actually saw the Christmas tree from one of the rides that I was on. So you can see that they have got the lockers and things to the left-hand side if you need it. All the rides, though, did have places where you can just put your bits and pieces. We are up by the Fire Chasers now. This was a good bit of fun. It's one of those rides where you end up going halfway around, then it shoots you back down backwards. That's always a good bit of fun. But there, within this section, it was much larger rides. So that's what I mean about how in some sections of the park, so for example, like where we are now, the Wilderness Pass, much bigger rides, much bigger roller coasters. But where we were in sort of the fairground section, that's obviously where the younger ones were. But you can see the Christmas tree in the background. There is a show going on that ran every 15 minutes from when it got dark up to 15 minutes before the park closed. Now, I managed to get over there and film the whole thing from the beginning. That will be the video that I will link to the end of this video. It'll come up in one of the boxes. But you will catch like the first maybe 15 seconds. I'll go quiet and you can just listen to the first 15 seconds, but then obviously it's all copywritten music, because don't forget where we are. Dolly Parton sings loads of different songs, so she is singing all the time for Christmas carols. The atmosphere is absolutely incredible, but that's why I've had to take the background noise off so much. So in certain sections of the park, you might notice it's actually gone completely silent, just because of all the different kinds of music that we're playing, and I know YouTube won't like that. So it is extremely good atmosphere walking around this place. It will get you right into the Christmas mood if you like it. And I guess if you're not a massive Christmas fan, but you still want to experience an amazing atmosphere, I can only imagine what this place would be like at Halloween as well. So that's something else to consider, because they spun it around very quickly from Halloween to Christmas. So I can only imagine what their Halloween decorations look like, because obviously I think that it looks fantastic with all the Christmas decks up. So like I said, the big Christmas tree in the middle, so we're still technically walking through the Glazer Ridge, where you can see the big snowflake on the roof. There is loads of different seating area where you can sit down and just sort of enjoy the show. There's loads of benches and everything wrapped around. You've got like this little Christmas tunnel that you can go through to the left, or you can carry on walking in a straight line and kind of miss the sort of like the central area if you wanted to. And then that carries on going down into where the eagle is, and then from there we then move on to lots of other little bits and pieces. So there's lots of other sections of the park to come. We still have, again, worst tour guide ever, we have got another two more to go through. Some of the sections, like the Craftsman's Valley, is absolutely massive. Because I am an awful tour guide, we actually missed Owen's Farm when I was walking around, because like I said, no idea it existed. Does look very pretty walking over this bridge though. Some perfect photo opportunities for you and your families if you wanted to stop and take some photos. But we are going to start coming back down the other way and just see all the other little bits and pieces, and we get to ride the drop tower, pitch black, and the view of everything lit up was amazing. I'm just going to go quiet for a second now just so you can hear this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Glacier Ridge. Here at Dollywood, we love the holidays. And we think it's always best when it's spent with the folks you love. So, we like to tell a little story that reminds us of family and the joy and the little miracles that fill this most special time of the year.
It's about 7-8 minutes long, but it's a very impressive thing. It tells a really nice story, which obviously you can't listen to, but you get the idea of what's going on. And then at the end, there's a nice little surprise with a massive snowstorm. So that is definitely something that you can just sit down and soak in. Hopefully you guys manage to see that, because it's one of those where it's definitely worth catching from start to finish. Right, you can see that mine cart shooting around. That track was, again, surprisingly big. A lot of the rides were much bigger than what I thought they were going to be. The ride time on the rides, I think, are very, very good at this park. Right, we're coming into the Wildwood Grove. Now, this is another horseshoe effect. So you can do everything on the right-hand side, come back down and come back in. Without having the map, I did not know that, so I ended up walking up an exit of one of the roller coaster rides, thinking that it was how you carried on with the park, because the drop tower, which you can see in the distance and up, that is actually in a straight line, whereas we're going underneath this little tunnel. So this is now its own enclosed section of the park, and then we'll do a big horseshoe shape, and then we will end up going back down what we've just seen and walking past that massive drop tower that you've just seen drop in the distance, which I do, like I said, at night. No queue, perfect timing. And then we will then walk past all the amazing Christmas trees, and we'll finish where the video started. So there's a lot to see, but not that much left at the same time, if that makes any sense with regards to the amount of lands that we've got to see. But there is a huge amount to do within each section. Now, this has a big roller coaster coming, which now means there will be something for absolutely everybody again within this section of the park. So Wilderness Pass, we are going to have, I know I'm talking rubbish, we're not doing the Wildman Pass, we're on the other side of the map. We are at the Wildwood Grove, so it goes from attraction 125 to 137. You've got the Black Bear Trail, which is a teeny tiny little one for the little ones. Then you've got the Dragon Flyer, which is a nice sort of like suspended roller coaster, but not horrendously fast or scary. It's just like a nice smooth ride. We had a good look at that during the day, so I can imagine the big roller coaster that they're making will just take it up a notch. The Frogs and Fireflies, the Great Tree Swing, Hidden Hollow, the Mad Mockingbird, the Wildwood Tree, Tree Top Tower, and the Wildwood Creek is all the different attractions that are in this. So this goes from 125 to 133. There's one bit of shopping you can get, so you can go to the Mountain Grove merchants, so you can actually get all the similar theming to what location we are now. And dining, you've got 3 different options. You've got sweets and treats, Till Harvest Food Hall, and the Wildwood Grove Dipping Dots. So there's lots of different things to do and have a look at. Again, I think this is like one of the widest sections of the park where obviously they are starting to add more and more bits in, because this video has already gone live of the video during the day, and a couple of people I was getting asked going, when did you go? Because it looks really quiet and empty. But like I've said at the start of the video, depending on what part of the park you're in will very much depend on how quiet it is, again, depending on the time of the season. So walking around during the day, it was nice and simple because not a lot of people were going to this section of the park because it was slightly bigger rides and because all of the children are still at school. But the younger ones that aren't at school were going to the fairground, and it was just perfect for everybody. But I think this has some really nice lighting, and it's got lots of rides within. And again, it's the one of the areas is actually a soft play area as well, so it's meant for much smaller ones. On the map, it does give sort of like a readout of sort of height of what you want to be or the age. So for example, the Dragonfly, it's 39 inches, the Black Bear Trail 36, and they're color coded. So it's a really nice, simple park to walk around because it's just one of those where you just walk around in a big circle. The only thing that you would miss at night, like I did, would be the Owens Farm, but you wouldn't have missed it if you cut through the Rivertown Junction a slightly different way. So don't forget, from Rivertown Junction, we went down and then went into the village and did the Peppermint Valley. If you actually just walk through in a straight line rather than going to the outer edge, there was a different path through the Rivertown Junction which actually led you directly to Owens Farm, and then you can kick out of Owens Farm and walk straight up Craftsman's Valley. That is what we explore in the day video. So there's a couple of different ways that you can get to Owens Farm, and I made sure that I covered everything, got all the basics nailed during the day video. Now, what I really like is how you go from land to land. It's a bit difficult to see at night because obviously we're just soaking in all the Christmas decorations, but each section of the park, their theming is so different. So like here, for example, lots of water, lots of greenery, but when we get down to Timber Canyon, everything is obviously wood based, and it's amazing. You literally step over a line and it suddenly changes. It's a bit like when you go down to a themed hotel and one corridor is one theme, and you turn the corner and then the carpet and the color and everything completely changes in another theme. That's very similar to how we are now. So when we do this full loop and we come back round and shoot back down on ourselves, you will see how it suddenly changes, and we go from this sort of really nice butterfly effect. You'll see a really nice tree that we'll have a look at, which is very colourful. This rides a little bit further on the background. We can see the lights and things like that. But then all of a sudden, we'll be right beside the mines, and we then go into the drop tower, then the theming changes again. So lots of different sections, lots of different bits. But the last bit from here is actually the Timber Canyon, and that is where the drop tower is, and there are some rather large rides within that as well. That, like I said, where we are currently on the map, it is number 125 to 137. It's more of the, if you were to actually have the map in front of you, or you were to Google the Dollywood's map, it is the most water-based section of the park with regards to how much water there is dotted around. And you can see as you walk over some bridges, the water's going underneath you. It's just a very nice place to be. Really calm, really good fun. And like I said, during the day, I did manage to get on the roller coaster that was at the bottom because I didn't even know it was there until I did this loop. But I would probably suggest that if you've never been to this park before and you do want to get on all of the rides, you are probably going to need 2 days, realistically. I mean, I think I just fluked it with the time that I went, because the second day that I was there, I did another full loop. But what I did is I filmed each land as I went around. I got on every single ride with no queue, and that still took most of the day. It was dark again by the time I'd finished. Obviously the crossover with regards to lots of people coming in the evening makes a bit of a difference as well, because the people that are coming in to see the lights are also slightly older, so they all want to go on the obviously on the bigger rides. But this was midweek, it was not a weekend. It will be completely different, I would imagine, if this was done at the weekend. Now this is a cool little ride. It was one of those where if you did the tail on it and it flicked it out quite far, or it kicked it back in. I haven't seen one of those, but you can move the front and the back, so depending on which way you do it, it's one of those that really kicked it out quite quickly, and you can hear the train in the background. I would go quiet for the last sort of 5-10 minutes or so and just let you soak everything in, but like I said, I can't, because for certain bits I've managed to keep the sound in. For other bits I've had to take it out completely just because of Dolly Parton singing her lungs out. The main thing is hopefully you're enjoying it, so if you are, again, just let us know in the comments below. I'm going to get it now. If you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I am trying to cover the bit of there where I decided to walk down the exit instead of thinking it was a full loop of the park, hence why we've now just cut back and we're now coming back down the way we came up, having a look at some different bits and pieces that we didn't see. Everything is open to the left and right hand side. You've got different eateries, different restaurants, just places to sit down. Obviously you've got the rides, you've got soft play area. Now this is the tree that we're walking past where the guy had the big candy cane on the way up. As you can see, it changes colours. That looked like that might have been a permanent feature though, so again, if that is, and you've been to this park multiple times, please do let everybody else know in the comments below. It's always handy to know if people have been here a few times in the past, just to what is actually extra to what is always there, because that tree did look like it was a permanent thing, but it did look brilliant. But we have got about just over 10 minutes left, so if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. We have got Timber Canyon to come. We've got the big sort of drop, which I will do, and it was amazing view. I thought Wildwood Grove was a really nice walk around, and you can see all of the lighting. You can see how the building structure changes. So the building in the background is actually from the different section. So that is the start, or depending on which way you're coming from, the end of the Timber Canyon. So we're going to walk under these little tunnels, and then we'll kick back round on ourselves and we'll walk down Timber Canyon. So I will start to say what is in Timber Canyon now, because we've got quite a bit to see in the last sort of 10 minutes, because we've got a lot of lights and everything to soak in, and then we'll walk back through, like I said, where we started. But Timber Canyon, it goes from number 22 to 31 on the map. You've got the drop line, the lumberjack lifts, the lumberjack jam band, the mystery mine, is which is where we're looking at now. It's this huge mine. You've got Thunderhead and the whistling punk chaser. So that is all the different attractions. Shopping, you've got the mine shaft and wired up names. And for the dining, you've got the drop line dipping dots and the lumberjacks pizza. So that is all the different bits and pieces that are there and located within this section of the park for this. I think it's just a really nice section. Now this is the bit that I actually saw first during the day on the second day as I came up, and this is where it all started. And like I said, I managed to get on the big mine ride, the roller coaster I did a couple of times, and then went on absolutely everything. But I did not manage to see any of the shows or anything like that. So if you are thinking of coming down as a family, I do believe on their website they do a 2-day park ticket, so you can come obviously for a multiple days. I would recommend that if you want to do absolutely everything with regards to the rides or the shows. I have no idea what the show's like Christmas time. I would imagine there'd be multiple options, but again, depending on if you are watching this at Christmas, Easter or Valentine, whatever, just make sure that you check online to what is currently going on, not to what you are watching now, because I don't want to disappoint you with things not being open or obviously certain shows not being running. I'm just reading the map that I had with me for the end of 2022 season. Now, would you get on the tower? That's the main thing. Are you a drop tower fan or not? Some people that like roller coasters still refuse to get on them because they just don't like the sudden drop. Some of them are like a blast off, where they go from bottom and shoot up to the top. Some go up slowly and drop back down. This is the reverse. So this will take you up to the top. It spins you round and then it drops you down, and then it spins you around at the bottom, and then you start where you finish. Now the entrance is pretty cool. Big old queue line for it though. It is a big old queue. Now it was coming to the end of the day, and this is now at the point of where I was regretting wearing shorts, because it was very, very fresh. But people were funneling through the queue line really slowly, like we are now. So there's me and 2 others. But then somebody else would do it, then somebody else would do it, and you were sat there for about a good 10 minutes as they filled up the ride, just because people were coming through slowly and it's coming to the end of the day, and I just wanted the ride to go so I could get a sense of feeling back in my legs and my face. But it was definitely worth getting on. I don't know if I actually managed to film the actual tower itself close up at night. I think we might have been the last run, and then I don't think I did wait there for a minute or two, and nobody else was coming through. So that was a queue line. I did the ride, got off, and I just carried on walking down. So the drop tower is actually to the right hand side. All of this is the Timber Canyon. So there's loads and loads of different bits and pieces, like I've already run through. You can see it's still at the bottom. You can see the lights twizzling around at the bottom, and you've already seen how tall this thing is, and we're having a quick look at it now. It is a nice big drop. Really do get a very very good view of the park during the day. I did it during the day as well, but at night it's just that little bit more special, especially with all the Christmas decorations and everything up. Now, the reason why I'm talking a little bit quicker is because we're going to finish the Timber Canyon, and then we're going to end up going down past all of these amazing Christmas trees. Now, if I knew about it and actually turned right rather than following these people down, that is where a massive roller coaster is, which I did on the way up. Now, it was open and running, but because there are so few people here, because they are all at the bottom, you'll see what I mean when we get to the bakery, I didn't hear the roller coaster running. Otherwise, I would have loved to have done that at night. So if you have done the main roller coaster up within this Timber Canyon section, which I do believe is called the Thunderhead, let me know, because it was brilliant during the day. So I can imagine what it looked at night, but this I think looks amazing. I might try and use that as my green screenshot, maybe. I'm not 100% sure what I can get your attention with regards to all the different lights, because it just looks really nice. Again, the music's had to be turned right down. They are singing Jingle All the Way at the moment, so just really nice atmosphere. That's something that they just tick the boxes with. And like I said, it's definitely the most family-based theme park that I've been to with regards to something for everybody, just because the amount of shows that they've got. Because I did sit down in the evening and read through all the different attractions for the shows and the theatres, and if you planned it rightly, you would have like maybe a 10-minute gap between each one. If you could walk to the next one, just spend all day being entertained with carols and just songs and country music and everything like that. So it did sound very good when I was walking past during the day. So if you did manage to experience any of them, again, let us know, let everybody know what your thoughts are, let everybody know what your favourite one is. I don't think you would waste your time on any of them, but if there is one or two to avoid, or if you had to pick one over the other, what would you pick? So we are still walking down that glacier, so you know how far back that started. This is still technically part of it, but they've double looped it into the Timber Canyon, where this is sort of the start / the finish, and then we'll have a quick look through. So we really are starting to run out of time now. We're 52 out of the 59 gone, so hopefully, like I said, you've enjoyed it. I really do like some of these decorations that are down this way. Now, I did say in the day video, you could not believe this lit up at night, because it looked nothing like this during the day, because obviously you can't see the lights, but you could see all the other little bits and pieces. So this is where a lot of the attractions are with regards to just having a little bit of fun and making some music and things like that. The sign that we're about to walk under is the same sort of sign that we saw well far back where the teardrop lights were. So that is the end of what is the ridge. But we'll carry on going down, and you've got all of these trees as it snakes through and down. But I do like how they've got all the spotlights and everything down with the snowflakes. And then as I walked around the corner, I could not believe how amazing those lights looked lit that we missed when we first came into the park. But the park is open, good opening hours, depending on what days you go. So you do have a good opportunity to see all of this and do it all. And I would imagine you'd be able to walk around the park maybe sort of 4 hours at night, depending with how, depending on what day you go, and with the park closing, and with it getting dark and so on. So if you can, I would. If you can't, then don't worry. And then it is what it is. But I'm glad I did it. It's something I saw, like I said, in 2020, and it's been nibbling away at me for a long time. So I'm really happy that I did manage to get there. I would imagine it would be good fun doing it with a group of friends. Obviously, I haven't, so it's still very enjoyable for myself. But if you were to go around as a group, I would imagine it would be a really nice thing to make some good memories. Right, we are 54.5 minutes in. I still can't go quiet because I do believe the music kicks back up, but I will go quiet for a second just so you can soak in the last little bit of this. And I am back because the music is starting to kick in and we're getting right back down to the bottom. So I've got the map back beside me. That was a good few seconds respite for me. That is the priority entrance / exit. So that is actually where you, if you have priority parking or you paid a little bit extra, you can come in. There's no walk at all. You literally walk straight from the car park and you're there on that one. And where we're walking down now, I mean, this just looks outstanding. There's a massive shop to the right hand side, and there is a tour coming of during the day, because I have managed to get some of the little bits and pieces, and I will do a full park tour of it during the day as well and just add it all together. But how you get from the car park or the drop-off point down to the park is quite interesting. You end up sitting on like a sort of like a load of different land trains. But that is the huge shop entrance exit. It sells everything that is available within the park. So that is where that would be your last chance to get everything. Now, I've been going on about all the different merchandise. The merchandise within each zone represents the zone that you're in, and it will have a couple of standard Dollywood tops. But this shop had absolutely everything in, which we will have a look at in one of the daytime videos when we're walking through this bit during the day, walking past the Palace Theatre, and we will have a good look. But that is your photo opportunity. That is where you would go and just get all of your photos taken. You can see there's actually a photographer there getting all the bits and pieces. Right, so this is the bit that I did not run over. Show Street attractions 1 to 8. Now you've got the Celebrity Theatre, you've got Lost and Found and Dollywood. Market Square Stage, Ride Accessibility Centre, the Ride Measuring Centre, which I didn't actually see, so that'd have been interesting to see what that looked like. You've got the Show Street Gazebo, the Show Street Palace Theatre, and the Stroller ECV Wheelchair and Rental. So you can rent all the different bits and pieces that you need for your mobility needs if required. Shopping goes from 9 to 16. You've got the Dollywood Emporium, the Flashbulb Photos, the Gazebo Gifts, Package Pickup, the Sweet Shop Candy Kitchen, the Southern Pantry, Traditions and Wired Up Names. That's number 16. Keep your eyes peeled for the massive queue line for the bakery as well when we get close to that. And then for the dining, you've got the Front Porch Cafe, Show Street Hot Chocolate, Show Street Ice Cream, Show Street Snacks and Spotlight Bakery. That is all of them. I do not need to carry on, but this is where your ice cream is, and there is a huge queue outside the bakery. But I think these lights just look amazing lit up, to be honest. I think it's just one of those things where it does look absolutely incredible, and I'm just happy that I can get to share it all with you. So we are 58 minutes out the 59. So I will find a little bit of footage where I can go quiet, where there's no copyrighted music. If not, it will just go completely silent, and then obviously the end screens will come up. Just remember, on the end screen it will have the Christmas tree pop up if you want to watch that, and you can see all of the full Christmas tree show display on there. But you could spend a huge amount of time just walking through this and just looking at all of this. Now, this carried on really far up in a straight line, but what I actually did is went back to the bit where the Dollywood bus is, which is this bit just here, and managed to film this bit as well. So there is actually a little bit of the park that I missed, but we do catch it during the day because there was another Christmas tree, and that was where sort of like the back end of the Rivertown Junction was. So Rivertown Junction, like I said, you could cut through it in multiple different ways. But if I was to walk up in a straight line, because I didn't do it at all, because this is the way I went, but you could have carried on going in a straight line. There's a really nice colourful Christmas tree, which we do see and have a good look at during the day. And I think I managed to get a little bit of it at night as well, but that's all on a different memory card, so you just have to wait for that video to be uploaded. But that is it, guys. I am done. So, like I said it once, if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da.